What is good, everybody? It's Ross. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. Really appreciate y'all. We're doing a video on what's the dirt, and he just dropped something called how to strangle a goat. Now, for those who don't know who What's the Dirt is, he does hip hop commentary, and yeah, this video he really is just he's essentially doing damage control for Drake. I don't know if this is like some Canadian alliance or if Drake, I have no idea. But this video is clearly he's congratulating Kendrick, but at the same time it's like backhanded comments and creating like this whole conspiracy theory on Kendrick's motives and how he was able to strangle the goat, when in reality it's just literally a beef. This is what people in beefs do. They find out what your weaknesses are and they bring it to light. You know, sometimes it's truths, sometimes it's lies, sometimes it's rumors, but as we see here, and as time will tell, we are realizing that there have been more truths that Kendrick has shared versus lies that Drake has shared. So only time will tell, but you can really see the damage control that's happening. I don't know if Drake is paying these guys do this, but I don't even think he's doing that. I think these guys, I think there's like maybe some Canadian versus American thing going on. I don't know what the problem is. It's not any of that, to be honest. I mean, if anything, it's culture vulture versus true, sincere artists who are in the culture and who appreciate the culture. You know what I mean? So a lot of people like this guy and others, they want to make it more than what it is. Kendrick just straight up out-rapped Drake. That's what happened. He outperformed him. He out-rapped him. Anyway, we're going to watch this. I might skip a couple things, especially if he gets redundant. If we remember his past issue last time where we had an OG YouTuber criticize him or make points about how he addressed one of his past videos. And this dude, What's the Dirt, went crazy. Like he really went on a high horse. That's honestly where I think him and Drake have similarities, where they think they are above approach on anyone because of numbers or because they have more clout, that they are the culture, like they are. I don't understand. And so now he's doing some revisionist history kind of thing, and he's just spinning the narratives and adding conspiracy theories. I love how he didn't do a breakdown on Meet the Grams and Not Like Us. That's so weird. I wonder if he's gonna do it. Right, doubt it. We're gonna watch this and let's check it out.
It truly goes without saying that Kendrick Lamar dominated the beef against Drake and came up on top by a significant margin. However, his win over Drake is the result of something far more powerful than just piecing up syllables. The most critical aspect of Kendrick's win comes down to one thing: strategy. Everything this man did before the battle, in the battle, and especially after the battle has been extremely calculated and downright impeccable. Let's just be real here, like the guy hasn't made a single mistake. Kendrick daydreamed about destroying Drake for a very long time, and in 2020...
That's already weird. Kendrick daydreamed to take Drake out for a very long time. I honestly doubt that. I truly doubt that. I don't think he's already starting this video off as if Drake is on Kendrick's mind all the time. I really think it's the other way around. Drake has an envy for Kendrick because Kendrick is a representation of the culture. He does not have to create gimmicks. He does not have to. He is the culture, meaning Black American culture. You know, he is from Compton. This is where NWA, this is where hip hop, West Coast hip hop, regardless, it was from Black American culture. Even though Drake is half Black American, he's not ingrained in that culture like he wants to. I think it's really the other way around, that Drake has been thinking about finding ways to take out Kendrick in some way. And so that's why over the years, he's been sending subliminals. So he's already starting off saying Drake has been, no, Kendrick already has said he does not really care about the limelight like that. He said, I'm allergic to the lame. Only you like being famous. He's already establishing that in Euphoria. That's why we just need to listen. We all just need to listen to Euphoria again. Like he says everything there. Kendrick is not looking at Drake like, oh, he's the top, he's the GOAT, I got to take him out. No, he's not doing that. You know, so look at me. I'm already freaking 39 seconds in.
24, I believe he crafted a calculated strategy, a master plan that we're gonna call How to Strangle a Goat.
The black know how to strangle me a goat.
So how do you take down a powerhouse like Drake? Well, a lot of rappers wouldn't be up to the task because most of them are missing a critical piece that Kendrick has had for a very long time. This is the secret sauce that...
Hold up, I know that's too fast. I know that might be a little fast for y'all. That's honestly what I be, like, that's the speed that I be listening to stuff. No cap. But anyway.
Can't be purchased, can't be taught, or replicated. Without this element, Kendrick's strategy wouldn't even exist, and the beef wouldn't have happened in the first place. The precursor that fueled everything is the fact that Kendrick Lamar has an undeniable hatred towards Drake. And this was the ultimate setup for everything that he did.
Again, where are you getting that? Why do you think that? Like, Kendrick hates Drake. I think Kendrick hates what Drake represents. Essentially, this McDonald's pre-packaged, processed form of hip-hop that is easily digestible for all audiences. That's what it is.
I believe both of these MCs knew at some point that they would one day clash, but I don't
That's true. I believe that.
think Drake took it as serious because he didn't share that same hatred.
Why do you think that, bro? Why do you think that? Why do you think he doesn't share the same? I think Drake hates everybody, to be honest. I think Drake hates everyone. I really think that. I think he doesn't like himself. You know, I think that's the real, and that's what Kendrick is really trying to say. You know, he said, fuck a rap battle. You in a long life battle with yourself. Like, he's really looking at him like, bro, you must hate yourself. You are in all these activities. You are doing all these things to hurt people or to get them to hate you. And it must suck to be you. Like I said, damage control.
Drake may have disliked Kendrick or was annoyed
Drake may have disliked Kendrick.
by him, but hate is a pretty strong word, and Kendrick definitely had this emotion with him.
Now let me say I'm the biggest hater.
Okay, let me say I'm the biggest hater. Man, I'm just gonna let that fly, bro.
I don't believe for one second that 2024 was the first time Kendrick picked up a pen with the intention of going at Drake. I'm convinced he started crafting verses as far back as 2013, taking notes, studying Drake's every move, every misstep, every rumor.
He's making Kendrick look like a stalker. He's making Kendrick look like a stalker. Like, he's like looking at every rumor, no, Kendrick is not. Kendrick is just in the industry and he hears, he sees what's happening. He does not need to look for it. I mean, you don't even need to be in the industry to see all the stuff that Drake does and how he moves. So it's wild. And for you to think that Kendrick has been the one putting this all together and creating these subliminals and not Drake is insane. It's insane.
And he carefully analyzed all the battles that Drake was already in. I was told by an inside source that Kendrick had a diss track for Drake back in 2021 with most of the same subject matter. So without this element of hatred for Drake...
Yeah, sure, bro. What's your source?
Kendrick would have never had the desire to construct this plan, but the first step of his ingenious strategy is what I like to call the moral man tactic. This one was critically damaging to Drake. Make no mistake, one of Kendrick's ingenious plays in this beef was his ability to portray Drake as a complete degenerate while casting himself in the most favorable light. This was a very straightforward strategy of framing one side as bad and the other side is good. And this worked flawlessly. One of the first things that Kendrick executed out the gate and a huge part of his game plan was to paint Drake as a pathological liar.
Fabricating stories on the family front cause you heard Mr. Morale. I think somebody lied. A pathetic master manipulator. You lied about your ghostwriters.
See, the thing when you say paint, that's why this gets weird, because you think that it's like some kind of conspiracy versus Kendrick is just saying what he sees, what is true, what he knows about Drake and what he's lied about. He's already lied about his son. Jeez, you're lying about your own offspring, having him. I mean, that's pretty crazy to think about. Like, I would never lie about my own kid. You know, I would never do that. And if I did, what other things would I be willing to lie about if I'm okay with lying about the existence of my own kid? That says a lot. So I really think that we wouldn't even know his kid it would exist without Pusha T.
About your crew members. He was God's plan to show y'all the liar.
And this was a really smart move because when Drake finally did levy allegations against Kendrick, people immediately wrote it off as continuously planting into the brains of the people that all they should be expecting from Drake is a whole bunch of bullshit was done with an extreme degree of intent. Don't listen to anything that guy says, it's all gonna be a bunch of bullshit. And not only did he paint Drake as a habitual liar, but he made him out to be the most evil.
He didn't paint him, man. That's what he is. Shake the stories how you want. Hey, Drake, they're not slow. We're not slow. We know what it is.
Despicable person on the planet. Drake hates black women.
He hates black women, hypersexualize them.
Drake is a misogynistic body shamer.
You a body shamer. You go hide them baby mamas, ain't you? You're a narcissist, misogynist.
Drake is a rat.
I know some shit about niggas that make gonna wanna look like a saint.
Drake is a horrible father.
Waking them up, no nothing about that. They tell them to pray, no nothing about that. And a fucking deadbeat that should never say more alive. A child should never be compromised, and he keeping his child around him.
Drake is a terrible friend.
No rain girl, he was in jail. That's conniving.
Drake's own team even hates him.
He's literally just saying the facts. Drake slept with Lil Wayne's girlfriend while Lil Wayne was in jail. He's not painting anything. He's not painting. This is what Drake is. He's literally saying what it is. What is happening here?
Everyone inside your team is whispering that you deserve it.
Drake is a bully.
Fake bully, I hate bullies. You must be a terrible person.
Drake is a coward.
Understand, no throwing rocks and hiding hands. That's law.
Drake is a gambling addicted psychopath.
I'm blaming you for hardest gambling.
Okay, we know that he's a gambler, especially once he did that deal with Steak. Come on now. Come on. Like, come on. Anyone who follows Drake knows he be gambling, and he probably do a lot.
Psychopath intuition.
Drake is completely sadistic. The guy belongs in a padded room.
Your son's a sick man with sick thoughts. I think niggas like him should die.
Drake is a pedophile.
Hey Drake, I hear you like I'm young.
And he's also a sex trafficker.
Him and Weinstein should get fucked up in a cell for the rest of their life. Or better yet, selling your niece to the weirdo.
Again, the framework is good versus evil. If you're support,
It's not framework, bro. Like, it's just how it happened, yo. Kendrick did not fall into that world. I think Drake has been in that world for a long time. I really do. Especially knowing how dark the Hollywood industry can be. Him starting off going into Degrassi, and I would not be surprised if he fell into that way early. And that's a lifestyle that Kendrick at least was not exposed to until he was a grown-ass man. You know what I mean? So
Drake, you're pretty much.
It just is what it is. Like, this is what Drake was destined for this, honestly. Like, that's just, he was setting up to be the next P. Diddy, to be honest. Like, that's how it seemed like.
Cosign and all this other shit that I just told you about. Kendrick started planting these seeds very early on in the beef. The logic was to make Drake look like such a bad person that there's no way anything he would have to say would have any sort of truth to it. Then the allegations just kept getting worse and worse with every record, and because Kendrick set this thing up the way that he did, by the end of the beef, people were actually convinced that Drake was this person. And a lot of these things about Drake aren't even true, but that didn't matter. This is a beef. He's not supposed to paint Drake in a positive light. In contrast, Kendrick painted himself as the complete opposite and gave the impression that he was nothing like Drake, that he could actually be trusted, and that he was a man of integrity and morals. He made it clear that he loves the children and that he's here for the children.
Put my children to sleep with a prayer, then close my eyes. Definition of peace. Because our children is the future, but he lives inside confusion. Teaching them morals, integrity, discipline. Listen, man, you don't know nothing about that.
He even said that he made his last album specifically for the children.
This the reason I made Mr. Morale, so our babies like you can cope.
He talks about how he understands women and what they go through, and he empathizes with them, and he's here to protect them.
Especially with other girls that's hurt inside this climate. Oh, he should die so all of these women can live with a purpose. You're a woman, so you know how it feels to be in alignment. Nigga better not speak on Serena.
He makes clear distinctions between Drake's character and his character.
I make music that electrify him. You make music that pacify him. I'm allergic to the lame shit. Only you like being famous. Why would I call around trying to get dirt on niggas? Y'all think my life is rap? That's whole shit. I got a son to raise.
Do I really seem like the guy that's gonna be digging up dirt on people? Like, that's a Drake thing. I got kids to raise.
I'm sorry that I live a boring life. I love peace.
Kendrick is all about the butterflies and the lullabies, and
Drake literally sent people to find dirt on Kendrick. These are causes that Drake has made. You're doing damage control, bro. You're doing damage control.
It's a tear every time a baby cries.
I don't have a hating bone in my body.
I don't have a hating bone in my body. I'm just here to protect everyone from all these perverts over here.
I'm looking to
yeah, bro. Yeah. That makes sense, man. That makes sense.
Through any pervert that lives, keep the family safe.
So when we really zoom out, this is the narrative that was painted that worked insanely well in the beef. Drake is someone that hates black women. I love all women. Drake is a deadbeat dad. I tuck my kids in with a prayer every night. Drake is a sadistic psychopath. I live a boring life that's all about love and peace. Drake is a habitual liar. I'm here to tell you guys the truth. Drake is a sick PDF file. I'm here to protect the children and women. And regardless of what's true and what's not true, didn't matter. Like, people ate all this shit up. Kendrick was in.
People ate it up because there were so many other things on the back end that lined up. I don't know if you remember during this beef, like every time like a song dropped, there would be new videos supporting or debunking whatever the artist was claiming. You know what I mean? So I remember after Meet the Grams, there were so many TikToks and stories of these underage girls, or these girls that when they met Drake were underage, and how they were invited, and how there was some kind of like Tinder. It was like Tinder for Drake. It was like a weird kind of thing like that. So this is like, there was videos of, or how they met Dennis Graham, how Dennis Graham be running around like he's forgetting that there was videos debunking or supporting what each rapper is saying, what each rapper is saying.
Incredibly smart with this approach because he already had somewhat of a sweetheart reputation, and Drake's very public life was anything but that. Kendrick knew exactly what he needed to do and say to craft the narrative of good versus evil, and it worked flawlessly.
Yeah, it worked. Yeah, that's what beefs are for. Like, yeah, that's what happens. Truth gets exposed.
Kendrick Lamar came in on 10, right? Like, he was very, very meticulous. All right, so the second thing that Kendrick did in his strategy of strangling a goat was that he put on a masterclass on how to validate the public. And he did this one extremely well. Outside of the fact that Kendrick brought forth every rumor and conspiracy theory in existence about Drake, but he also knew exactly what to say.
Hey, what? What do you mean?
Public. And he did this one extremely well. Outside of the fact that Kendrick brought forth every rumor and conspiracy theory in existence about Drake, but he also knew exactly what to say to the audience to validate their pre-existing beliefs.
Somebody's lying, I can see the vibes on act, even he looking compromised.
All right, so people are calling act compromised? Like, that's the buzzword right now? I'm gonna put that into music.
Playing dirty with propaganda.
What? You literally are just making stuff up, bro.
Hit blow up on you. You're playing nerdy with Zach Bia and Twitter bots.
Again, these were all things mentioned by people before, but Kendrick understands what it is to validate the audience and their opinions, and that when he does this
dude is pretty much, he's representing like the extension of the Heart Part 6, Drake's Heart Part 6. That's what he's doing. Everything Drake wanted to say in Heart Part 6, this guy is adding fuel to it to legitimize it. Oh, you know, you on Twitter, you on the internet, you looking at stuff and you fell for it, you falling for these fake groups. No, bro, no, that's not what happened. That's not what's going on. Drake, you're a liar, bro. Let's keep it a bean, man.
They absolutely love it.
Once upon a time, all of us was in chains. Homie still double down, calling us some slaves.
People hated that line about slavery from Drake, and he knows that. He's been paying attention, so he puts it in the music.
He's making it seem like Kendrick is just online looking on what people are saying on Twitter. Like, Kendrick, he's literally just saying what it is. You don't need to go on Twitter. When I first heard that line, I said, that's a bad line, Drake. I said, why? Like, you have no one in your camp. No one in your camp heard that and was like, bro, I don't think that's going to fly like you think it is. You know, what do you say? You always trying to act like you trying to free the slaves. And I said this in a previous video. I get what he's saying. He's, calling Kendrick a fake activist. Kendrick could hear that first try and be like, oh, I'm getting it. I'm on him with this. You don't need to go on Twitter and see what other people are saying.
Another thing that Kendrick did extremely well was he painted the situation as if he was up against the industry in the battle and was here to expose information.
But the industry's cooked as I pick the carcass apart. Industry can hate me, fuck them all and they mama. Whoever that's fucking with them, fuck you niggas and fuck the industry too. I've been in this industry 12 years. I'ma tell y'all one little secret. There's some weird shit going on and some of these artists be here to police it.
In reality, Kendrick is the industry, and he's not exposing anything that hasn't been discussed for decades now.
So when you say in reality, Kendrick is the industry, what do you mean by that? Elaborate. I do understand Kendrick is signed. Kendrick is, he's given access to things. I know that he's in the industry, but for you to say that he is the industry, I don't know about that. I think if anything, Drake represents the industry. Especially, I think Kendrick is talking about the darkest part of the industry. That's what I really think. All of the sex trafficking happening behind the scenes, all the things that protected P. Diddy to do what he's been doing for so long, and other artists who are being exposed and will continue to be exposed these next 6 months to a year. There's a protection, there's a system, there's a there's a allegiance that protects them until it's undeniable, you know, and they just let him go, or they do something and they, you know, they betray or they don't fall in line with what is supposed to happen, and then boom, you know, they are dropped and there's no protection. I don't know if that's what happened with P. Diddy. I know that he was suing Ciroc for something. Maybe, you know, it was one of those situations where you bite the hand that feeds you. I don't know. But for you to say that, I really don't think you're understanding correctly here. If Drake is really involved in all this and he's still able to get all of the benefits that he gets and people know about it, that means people are protecting him. That is an industry protecting him. I don't think Kendrick is a part of that. That's what I'll say.
But it's all about putting numbers on the board. Like, he knows these things are going to hit. Kendrick is insanely tapped into what's being said online. He understands how much people are drawn to these ideas.
Why do you say that, man? Man, this guy have chapters in this thing. I'm really ready to skip this, yo.
So he's given the people exactly
you're repeating the same things.
What they want to hear. And like I said, he takes this a whole step further because he positions it like he's the one that's up against the industry.
Him and Weinstein should get fucked up in a cell for the rest they laugh.
The Weinstein and Drake comparisons were actively going on within Kendrick's community long before this track
within Kendrick's community. Dude, it's so weird, bro.
But Kendrick understands the power of...
Kendrick knew too. Like, why do you think Kendrick just doesn't know anything and he need to go on Twitter to see? He's in the industry. He knows, he's heard rumors. He's seen things. Met people that, like what you said, you have a person in the inside who gave you a scoop. You don't think Kendrick got that too? You don't think? Man, I know there's a video of this guy on the radio from like back in 2021 or 2018, something saying, hey, Drake is next. Drake is a PDF file. He's up next. He's up next. Watch him. These are rumors that are already existing in the industry. People on Twitter are literally, they're after hearing all of the rumors that are within the industry, and it gets leaked out to the public. People on Twitter are an afterthought. We literally are the last people to know anything. That's what the truth is. Twitter people, normal people who like have regular jobs, live life, and then they hear, we are the last to know. You really think Kendrick finds out after the people on Twitter? Come on, stop playing.
Validating the public's beliefs. It gives people a chance to say, oh shit, like I've been saying that for years and now Kendrick's saying it.
Do you think people are that dumb? Do you really think that like we're just a bunch of clapping seals? Like, do you really think that? I think people really think that. Like, the masses are dumb. This is why we have so much corruption, because people like literally think people are dumb. And I don't think that. So if y'all listen to this, I mean, they think you guys are dumb. You know, they think we're not dumb. We know. Then of course there are some outliers. There are people out there who are slow, and but I think most people are just normal. Like, they're normal. You know, I'm not saying everyone's freaking a genius, but I'm saying most people are average, can understand when they take information. They can tell when something's sincere. They can tell when something's not. They know when they're being bamboozled. Now, misinformation can come and confuse people, but I don't think that's because they're dumb. This guy thinks that people are dumb, just like Drake thinks people are dumb. And that's why Kendrick won over, because he in a sense represents us. Like, bro, we've been saying this about Drake for years. Like, there are people who've been saying things about Drake, who have been saying how much of a culture vulture Drake is, how he steals music, whatever it is. People have been saying that for years. You know, so if anything, yeah, we do feel validated, because you guys have been gaslighting us for freaking years.
Was right.
Your little means is losing steam. They figured you out.
They know exactly what you're doing, and this is all smart. Like, people loved it when he said things like this. Kendrick was masterful at this. He had a way of making people feel like they were part of something bigger.
You're painting Kendrick to be like a manipulator, essentially. He did not need to manipulate anything. All he needed to do was just expose the truth of Drake. He needed to say what he needed to say about Drake, and everything else follows through. This video is gonna age like milk, yo. Just like Maul's takes on his podcast. This is gonna age so bad. It's gonna be crazy. And I'm gonna do a video on it when all this drop, all the things happen with Drake, all the stuff when he starts, all the guilty. All of it. This is gonna age like freaking milk. And Euphoria is gonna age like the finest wine in the cabinet.
Like they were special just for aligning with what he was saying.
The audience not dumb. Shape the stories how you want. Hey Drake, they're not slow. 5% will comprehend, but 95 is lost.
I hear that last quote all the time, and I'm not saying it's everybody here, but I hear that quote from literally some of the slowest people on the internet. I swear to God.
The embassy about to get raided too. It's only a matter of time.
Kendrick knows exactly what he's doing. He understands that narratives like this one will make people absolutely lose their minds. He's tapping into every
insane,
boxed-in
bro.
and Reddit conspiracy theory, and fans are eating it up. He was really paying attention. Like, he studied this. He read everything. Nothing got past him.
Bro, he already wrote these songs, yo. Oh my goodness, I'm skipping this. This is so annoying. This is torture, yo. This is torture.
Kendrick studied what works.
It was written like Nas, but it came from Quentin.
A huge part of Kendrick's game plan went into studying the results of Drake's previous beefs. What are the things that worked? What are the things that didn't work? And it's pretty obvious that Kendrick honed in on the methods used by Pusha T as he was successful at taking down Drake. On the story of Adidon, Pusha had a whole bunch of shots towards Kendrick's mom, his dad, like the family. He had lots of angles about that.
Marriage is something that Sandy never had, Drake. Then his gram stay off the gram, bitch, I'm on one.
Meet the Grams is essentially an extension of what Pusha did with Drake. It was like the story of Adidon on steroids, as Kendrick would take it a step further by writing personal letters to each family member.
Dear Adonis, dear Sandra, dear Dennis.
Between these two records, there is a lot of similarities.
Deadbeat motherfucker playing border patrol. And the fucking
Yeah, I mean, yeah. He had to expose Adonis, and then Drake is he just makes the same mistakes. He thinks he can get away with everything, yo, because he has a bunch of yes men in his corner. He can literally do anything. Women will still fall to his feet. He literally thinks he's a freaking demigod. You know what I mean? That's what he thinks. So, I mean, you just got caught again. He's being accused of having a daughter. I believe he does. I think he got more kids. Why the hell wouldn't he? Like, if he was hiding Adonis, geez. Wow, like I said, would we know if Adonis existed if it wasn't for Pusha T? If he was able to keep everything and he's able to still pay child support, you know, keep the girl in France and all that kind of stuff, and the boy, and he'll fly in the seat. I mean, Pusha T just completely ruined that. Now he had to change his whole brand to being this dad.
it beat that should never say more life. Your father walked away at 5, hell of a dad thing. His father probably didn't claim him neither.
Kendrick would also use very similar angles in the battle, like questioning Drake's blackness.
Confused, always felt you weren't black enough. Afraid to grow it cause your fro wouldn't nap enough. How many more black features till you finally feel that you're black enough?
And Kendrick would also use the angle of pitting Drake's team against him by planting seeds of doubt within his camp.
It wasn't that she was divulging it.
She divulges to 40.
Yeah.
She's having sex with
Telling her nigga.
Have you ever thought that OVO is working for me?
And this worked because Kendrick was able to get inside Drake's head, and it was really messing with him.
This nigga sent me a rat emoji.
Kendrick also took note of just how effective revealing a shot was,
Man.
and how this ultimately won the battle for Pusha. In fact, Kendrick took such great note of this that he even came with the exact same secret.
You are hiding a child. He's hiding another child.
Now, does Drake have a daughter? I can't rule it out. Like, I don't know Drake. I don't think he does, but it's possible. Like I said, Kendrick really hates Drake, and I think he played this shit like Moneyball. What can I say that'll get me on base? What's gonna get points? What worked in the past? What are the general public saying? All this.
I think it's crazy that you think Kendrick really thinks like this. Like, this is what Drake would do. Kendrick doesn't need to do all that. Kendrick out-rapped Drake straight up, point blank period. That's what happened. That is what happened. That's what would have happened if Drake wasn't a PDF file. That's what would happen if he wasn't a deadbeat dad. All the things, him being involved with all the stuff in Dubai and the freaking trafficking, it still would have been the same result. It's just y'all are licking your wounds like crazy right now. You guys are coping. This is what he's doing. This is coping.
Was taken into account, not just in 2024, but for over a decade. When Kendrick said that he had 5 more in stock, like 5 more in the chamber, I totally believe him, because I think he was sitting on so much material that there's a lot he didn't even use. And some might call this level of hatred crazy, but Kendrick knew this day was coming, and he came in on 10. From his perspective, this is hip-hop, and hell is gonna have to freeze over for Drake to ever get the upper hand. There was just no way he was taking an L to Drake. No fucking way. Moving on to number 4 in Kendrick's strategy of how to strangle a goat is without a doubt the timing of his records. This one is very, very important. You can't engage in a battle without laying down some bait, and Kendrick lured Drake into this thing in a very strategic way. Talking about timing, 2 days before this record dropped, Drake and J. Cole had just finished a joint tour. They were on a whole wave of
What are you talking about? Are you not going to bring up first-person shooter, bro? Are you not going to bring that up? You really think that Kendrick started this whole thing? Like, that's what you think? Like, that's where you're going to go? You're not going to talk about the first-person shooter? You're not going to talk about how Drake was sending crazy subliminals at Kendrick? We all know the song First Person Shooter was supposed to be him, Kendrick, and J. Cole. And Drake's team reached out to Kendrick. They said no. And then obviously we know what happened next. What the heck?
positivity, giving each other flowers, promoting each other's music, making records together. And I know this is a Future and Metro track, but this was definitely discussed, and Kendrick wanted this thing to drop at this time. He pretty much was like, okay, yeah, I see your little bromance you guys got going on. That's cool, that's cute. I'll wait for that to be over, but I'm about to shake this thing up.
But this is hip-hop and them niggas should know what time it is.
To say Kendrick drew inspiration from his own Control verse would be an understatement. We all know the impact that this Control verse had, and if it's not broken, there's no need to fix it.
Motherfuck the big three, nigga, it's just big me, nigga.
So Kendrick pretty much said, I know how effective this is, I'm gonna follow the same blueprint again, I'm gonna hop on a guest feature and go completely nuts.
Literally,
but this
the first person shooter literally mentioned Kendrick. J. Cole's verse, was saying me, K. Dot, and Drake, this and that. And Kendrick is like, y'all got twisted. It ain't no big three, y'all. It ain't no big three. It's just big me. And he got every right to say that.
time I'm gonna build on it and be far more direct.
For all your dogs getting buried, that's a K with all these nines.
And again, timing is really important on this because Drake still had a few shows left from his solo tour. So while this record is going absolutely nuts, Drake can't escape this thing. He has to listen to it. He has to hear about it. He has to watch it go #1. And the thing that the boy loves the most is going #1.
I got my fucking head up high, my back straight. I'm 10 fucking toes down. And I know that no matter what, it's not a nigga on this earth that can ever fuck with me in my life.
However, the essence of timing
That
his
aged terribly. That aged terribly.
drop strategically only continues throughout this beef. Drake would drop push-ups and tailor-made, and it's here where Kendrick goes quiet. No post on social media, no public statements.
He doesn't post in general, bro. Kendrick doesn't post, period, yo. All he does is do push-ups, hang out with his kids. I don't understand. What are you talking about? He's not Drake. He doesn't post memes on Instagram.
And this was also a deliberate strategy as he gave Drake a false sense of security in the beef. Drake really thought he had this thing in the bag. He really thought Kendrick was stumped and didn't even think he was going to respond.
I know you're in that NY apartment, you're struggling right now. I know it.
But boy, was he wrong. While Drake trolled Kendrick on social media, Kendrick was looking at this thing like an actual war. A good chess player might predict their opponent's next move, but a great player predicts the next couple of moves. It was during this period of being quiet where I believe Kendrick was simply tweaking his strategy. What am I going to use against Drake? What am I going to hold back? What style of record will I drop here? What style of record will I end off with? I believe Kendrick recorded a bunch of different diss records, and they would be used or not used based on what Drake's next move was. Okay, if Drake does this, I got this for him. But if he goes over here with it, I'm gonna give him this one. I think he had a bunch of it. I think he was really, really prepared. And if we're gonna talk about timing, Kendrick's next drop might just be the greatest play in the history of hip-hop beef, as Drake chose to go with a fairly melodic, upbeat record.
Hands on your knees, shake that ass for Drake, now shake that ass for free.
Okay, so Drake went the melodic route, something like back-to-back, perfect, just what I expected. I got just the record to completely suck the life.
That's what I expected. He knew exactly what was happening because someone in Drake's camp already showed him the song and told him when they was gonna drop it. Ain't no just what I expected. Let me drop this right now.
I hope you don't undermine them.
56 minutes after Family Matters, Kendrick dropped Meet the Grams, and holy shit, what a difference in tone, what a difference stylistically. It was the perfect record to drop after a track like Family Matters, like perfect. Meet the Grams was not something to dance to.
Over this. I'm over this.
It kind of goes without saying. It was when he weaponized the culture against them. He's so good
the culture.
at doing this that people don't even realize.
This man is Canadian. What does he know about Black American culture at that?
What he's doing.
Then notice I said we, it's not just me, I'm what the culture feeling.
Kendrick played this all really smart because he's positioning himself as the person that's speaking for everybody. Drake is the imposter, and I'm here to stand up for what's right. I'm doing this for all of us.
Tell them run to America to imitate heritage. They can't imitate this violence.
And it's lines like this one where he deliberately makes the distinction between Canada and America. This is also...
I knew it. Canada and America. It's really not that, yo. It's really not that. But hey, if you want to take it like that, go ahead.
really clever because now he's making the beef about geography. Kendrick's right. Like, we're not going to let these Canadians copy us. And many people...
Bro...
don't take notice to little things like this, but it's one of many ways that Kendrick subtly shaped the narrative. It's like he's saying, look, I don't know who else is with me here, but I'm American. We made this culture. This other guy, he's from Canada. This guy's a total outsider.
Somebody had told me that you got a ring. On God, I'm ready to double the wage. I'd rather do that than let a Canadian nigga make Pac turn in.
Oh, this is what got... Yo, okay. This is what got a lot of you Canadians, a lot of y'all hurt. Y'all really think it's... I hope y'all think it's just like... It's just funny because this Canadian dude completely disrespected Tupac making this AI clip. Do you guys not understand that? Like, it's not, I mean, it's really not about all that. It's just about respecting the culture, respecting Black American culture. You know, I heard that Drake has a toilet in one of his places, one of his houses, I think the one in Canada, where when you flush it or when you sit down on it, Tupac song comes on the play. Drake doesn't like Tupac. You know what? It's so funny. A long time ago, I'll never forget these lyrics that he said. He said, I never cried when Pac died, but I probably will when Hove does. And it was like whatever, but it always irked me. That line always irked me. I'm like, I never cry when Pac died, but I probably will when Hove does. I don't understand the purpose of that lyric. So I can already tell from back then, he already had some kind of dig at Tupac and what Tupac represented and something that Drake could never represent. And I think Kendrick being a successor, if you will, of Tupac, Drake can see that night and day. And that's why Drake hates Kendrick, not the other way around. So it's not about being Canadian. You can be Canadian and have respect for the culture and all these kind of things, and we'll love you. Like, we will embrace you. We aren't tribalistic like that, actually. As Black Americans, we aren't, you know? So y'all lucky that we ain't, to be honest. A lot of y'all wouldn't really even be embracing this culture. But we embrace anyone who shows love, you know, and sometimes we do it a little bit too much. We don't vet. That's all I'm saying. We don't gatekeep enough and we don't vet enough. That's why we have issues like Andrew Schultz. We got that dude from the radar, you know, all that kind of stuff. I'll probably make a video about that in the future, and including this guy. I'm sure that this guy, What's the Dirt, has gotten a lot of shout outs.
Are we really going to let this Canadian, who's not part of our culture, take Pac's ring? I'm going to be the one to stand on business here.
You totally, again, you didn't address that what Drake did with Tupac was extremely disrespectful. And you would have to be of the culture to recognize that. That's why you don't understand. That's why you shouldn't even be talking about this. You don't know enough. You don't respect it enough. Of what Drake did was extremely disrespectful. For Drake to do what he did, you would have to be from Canada to do that. Like, there's no Black American that would think, oh yeah, let me do that. You would have to be some outsider looking in and thinking that's something cool and you can get it. You know that would piss off Kendrick. You know that it was disrespectful.
This is going to resonate with people in hip hop because who doesn't like Tupac? Like, the guy is an icon.
I even hate when you say the word nigga, but that's just me, I guess.
Kendrick is pretty much saying, look, this could just be me, but I personally don't like the way that Drake says that. Like, I don't know about you guys.
We don't want to hear you say nigga no more.
Stop.
We don't want to hear you say that anymore. Another brilliant tactic that Kendrick employed in this beef was when he...
I mean, that makes sense. If you're going to run around acting like a colonizer, why do you think you can have also the benefits of the Black American culture, lingos, dialect, all that? Why do you think that? I don't think you should say nigga no more. I think your car should be taken away. So, makes sense to me. I don't see a problem with that. But he's really joking though. He's like joking in a sense. Like, that's how, you know, you like, that's how far away from the culture you are. You just because you're half Black American, you can come in and just be like, just saying nigga like 20,000 times. Like, man, you're not even saying it like you saying it like, I don't know how to explain it, but he says it way too much. It's like, bro, it just feels forced. It feels forced. That's why we don't like it. It's always forced whenever I hear him say it, and it's like 20,000 times, like, bro. And that was just like some white boy shit that he did in the one song. I was like, nigga, I said it. I know what you mad. Like, bro, you shouldn't even address that. Like, someone who really. But again, we all know that you're insecure about your blackness. You're about your ADOSness. You know, your Black Americanness. So I get it, bro. But you just did some white boy shit. Like, that's something a white boy would do. Like, I said it, nigga. Like that's literally what Drake did. You didn't need to do that because you're half black anyways. Like, you don't need to do that, but you did it.
Removed all the copyright claims from his diss tracks on YouTube. This allowed creators to make money off reactions, breakdowns, and reviews, and was a masterfully calculated move. Not only did it earn immense respect within the hip-hop community,
I agree with that,
but it also amplified the reach of his tracks, spreading them to an even bigger audience. I mean, this is unheard of. No one has ever done this before, and what a play. He pulled out every stop that he could in this beef. And of course, as this is very much intertwined with culture, a big part of Kendrick's strategy was also painting Drake as not just an outsider, but a complete culture vulture as well.
How many more black features till you finally feel that you're black enough?
And that's such a bar, too. Like, the black features because he had the braids, and then the black features, like, musically. Such a bar.
It's no accent, you can sell me. You burn to a lot.
What?
When you need a few dollars. Yachty can't get no swag neither. I don't give a fuck about who you hanging with.
Pitting the culture against Drake was the best angle that Kendrick could have ever took in this beef. He took
I can't watch
a strong
this video,
position
yo.
of
He's saying the same things. He's painting Kendrick as a manipulator and not understanding, like, Drake has been the problem. Drake is the problem. If Drake was an unproblematic person, this beef probably wouldn't even exist. Even if it did, like, this would not happen. Drake has been a problem. Drake has been a problem. Didn't Drake do a song with The Game and like in LA throwing shots at Kendrick? Keep it 8 more than 92 with me 100. That song. I can't with this dude, bro.
That you'd be hard pressed not to hear at a ball game. And I feel like Not Like Us is also one of those records. What's more impressive about Not Like Us is it's a diss record. It's a diss record that is a smash. I'm just going to go off top here and say that 98% of diss tracks will just come and go. Very seldom does an artist catch one where they're disrespecting someone and it's at the top of the charts at the same time. We can pretty much count those on one hand. So when it comes to beating Drake at his own game, Kendrick literally secured the biggest diss record of all time. I didn't say it was the best diss record, but it's definitely the biggest. It's definitely the most successful. And if you don't like the record, your life is going to suck because I don't think it's going anywhere. Like, you're going to have to listen to this for quite some time. I really believe that. And one thing that we could say about Drake is he's really good with quotables in his music. And this is something else that Kendrick outperformed him in, as he had far more standout lines than Drake. I'm talking about a part where the DJ kills the music and then everyone's singing that part back.
What is it, the breaks? Motherfuck the big 3. Nigga, it's just big me. Certified lover boy, certified pedophile. Freaky ass nigga here, 69 God.
Yeah, bro, this is the point you're making. Kendrick out-rapped Drake. That's it, man. That's it. How many times? Beat him. How many points did he make?
These
are
6
points?
All still huge factors in the beef and how he won. First off, the public's perception of Drake, even before this beef started, wasn't really at its best. People were shitting all over his last album, and then he had beefs with
because the album sucked.
Bunch of other artists. The optics of all the issues that Drake had with other people over the years had completely compounded, and it was one of those things where people would say, is it really all these other people that's the problem, or could it be Drake? And all this did was really help Kendrick's moral man strategy, where it's like, okay, I'm a really good guy, but like everyone's hating on this guy. Could it?
This guy is so, like, I don't know how to explain it. He thinks that people are stupid. I don't understand if he's being serious or if he's gaslighting. Like, you really think Kendrick's like, yo, I'm a good guy? Kendrick has never said that. Kendrick, that whole album, Mr. Morale, is him sharing his faults. All of those things, you know what I mean? So you're making it seem hella forced. Like I said, manipulation. You know, oh, I'm going to use it for my benefit. Like, ha, ha, ha. Yeah, oh, yeah, they're hating on Drake. No, people hated Drake for years, yo.
Really be me? It really helped. Next, the two artists lead completely different lifestyles. Kendrick has maintained a very private life, while Drake has been highly public. Drake's history includes a bunch of beefs and scandals where Kendrick had plenty of material to draw from, while Drake didn't really have much data at all. Kendrick's a tough person to go up against in a beef because there's not much there.
Right. So why did Drake feel so freaking confident that he would be able to do it? Why? Why would you go up against someone like Kendrick? He literally has no dirt on him. Why do you not like Kendrick? If he has no dirt and he's been unproblematic, why do you not like Kendrick?
From his art, his music, and maybe a few things you might have heard about him.
Another brilliant aspect of
There's like
Kendrick's
so many reasons to not like Drake. I can't find anything to like not like Kendrick for real. Like you really can't. Not enough to hold a candle.
approach is his use of subliminal Easter eggs. That weird noise at the beginning of 616, which drove me crazy. The KTW thing also drove me nuts.
The Elohim KTW.
That looping sample that he used that sounded like it said Boy Wonder. He truly incorporated a wealth of these Easter eggs throughout the whole beef.
I can double down on that line, but spare you this time. I be at New Hall King eating fried rice with a dip sauce and a blammy crow. Find the jewels like Cash Dog. I just need you to think that one of them is actually next to you.
And all this did was add a layer of mystique to Kendrick's music, and it kept fans talking. Some of the things court, making it so that Drake had to address Kendrick's allegations. Why do you think we got the Heart Part 6?
I'm way too famous for the shit you just suggested, but
At the end of the day, Kendrick was
What? Hold on, let me hear this.
strategy in painting Drake as a liar, and he knew damn well that dropping Meet the Grams 56 minutes after Family Matters would completely void Drake's claims anyways. The man set the whole thing up so he didn't even need to respond. In fact, what he did was Kendrick placed the ball right into Drake's court, making it so that Drake had to address Kendrick's allegations.
No,
Why do you think we got the Heart Part 6?
he did not need to do that. The Hard Part 6 was horrible because of that. Like, if you're not guilty, you don't need to address those things. Just like Kendrick, he never addressed that he didn't beat his wife. He didn't need to. He just dropped the songs. Drake had to go on the defense. That was his issue. He did that shit. Like,
I'm way too famous for the shit you just suggested, but
At the end of the day, Kendrick
that was such a whack line, by the way. I'm way too famous for the shit that you suggested. Are you serious?
was waiting for this moment for a very long time, and it shows. He crafted an impeccable strategy that included 1. The moral man tactic, making this a battle of good versus evil. 2. He understood the power of validating the public and their overall perception. 3. He studied Drake's past battles and had a clear understanding of what worked. 4. He planned out the timing of his records so that nobody on earth could have predicted it. 5. He weaponized the culture against Drake, painting him as a vulture in the process. 6. He
Painting him. Drake is a vulture.
beat Drake at his own game with a smash hit. And 7. He had a bunch of other noteworthy things that he utilized as well. So when it comes to how Kendrick strangled a goat, this is essentially how he did it. This is what he did, 100%. This was the basis of how he defeated Drake. And I got a video coming, don't forget, Victory Lap by Kendrick. We're gonna go through all the things that he did after the beef in great detail.
I don't want to hear that. I'm not doing a video on that either. What is that? Bro, it's just more damage control to make it seem like Kendrick is like the super mass manipulator. No. Kendrick is just a menace. He's good at rapping. He just, in the way he displayed it, the way he was able to show it just worked. Drake was outperformed. That's what happened. This is the reality. Drake didn't think Kendrick had it. Drake knew he had the bop. He knew he was going to drop Family Matters, and he literally was supposed to go on just vacation. That's literally what he did. He dropped Family Matters. I'm going on vacation. Peace out. Like, I don't even see the purpose for beef anymore. That's how he was already coming at. Like, all right, I'm dropping this. Peace out, because I know you're not going to drop anything harder than this. That's what Drake was doing. And then, boom, Not Like Us came out after Family Matters. Family Matters could have came out, and people would have been like, oh, Drake still won because we're dancing this. But then Not Like Us came out and made it undeniable. That's what happened. The push-up song, and then the tailor-made song, lazy ass, weak ass song, and then of course we know Euphoria. After Euphoria, 616 in LA. Kendrick put so much more work out when you think about it. Like, when you really think about it, Drake was just sitting on this red button, and then he had to scramble to write the Heart Part 6. That's why he sounded so defeated. You know, he was like, oh, you know, got the pen working. What you mean the pen work? Your pen should have been working. Weren't you just writing all these songs? No, you've been sitting on these songs. Family Matters, he's been sitting on that song probably for a whole freaking month. Drops it, did a whole music video for it, and then boom, could not even keep up with Kendrick. That's just what happened. You got outperformed, man. That's just what happened. This guy is completely biased, and he should start the video off saying, "Hey, just to let you guys know, I'm completely biased of Drake, and this is a damage control video. But here it is. Please enjoy." So we know. All right, yo, I'm out, because that was lame. That video was lame. But I think it was well produced, good editing. Obviously, as a whole team and making everything look fancy. But all he was saying was a bunch of nonsense. Like, he was just talking. It was just air. He was just talking. I don't even know how to explain it. It was like, bro, what are these 6 points? Really, this is what a beef is. You expose the truth. That's it. And whoever gets out-rapped, they get out-rapped. And let the public decide. It's, so anyway, Drake is an easy target. That's just what it is. So anyway, I appreciate y'all for watching. If you guys made it this far, please comment. I made it this far. But no, please like and subscribe. And I will see y'all later. Okay, peace.